Hello there. I'm here with Kitten Man today to teach you a beautiful breathing technique that is going to carry you through your day. It's so simple and it's so easy. You can do it anywhere. No one will even know that you're doing this breathing technique. And it is going to give you that nice, deep, diaphragmatic breathing that all the meditators talk about and all of the doctors talk about how this is so beneficial for you. So here's the key. Usually when we are focusing on deep breathing and we think about belly breathing, most people are actually just deepening the breath by sucking in through the nose and sort of trying to force the breath down deep into the lungs to make that belly expand. And there's also sometimes I see people almost forcing that belly to expand rather than let it naturally expand. So it's a very simple trick, and it's simply switch your awareness from the nose and sucking in for that deep breath and draw it deep down into the diaphragm. So instead, you are focusing on the diaphragm. You can actually place your hands at the solar plexus and trace around the lowest edge of the rib cage, and you can imagine that the diaphragm is sitting there. And that muscle, you can just practice drawing it down toward the floor or drawing it down toward the feet. It's very grounding in that regard too. But what that does is that drawing down creates the vacuum in the lungs that draws the breath naturally deep down. And when you're using that muscle to draw the diaphragm down, the belly just naturally expands. So there's no force in it. It just becomes a practice of using this diaphragm and a switch of awareness from the nose to the diaphragm. So I'm going to invite you to give it a little try and just see if that switch of awareness changes the feeling of the breath for you to be more easeful rather than, like I said, sucking it in and trying to bring it down deep. So just take your hands and put them on the solar plexus, and you can imagine in your mind's eye that diaphragm sitting right where your awareness is at this moment in time. And then you're just going to practice. Draw that diaphragm down. You'll feel the rib cage expand out and back. These almost fan out. And so keep focusing on that. And on the out breath, just completely surrender the out breath. So draw that diaphragm down and then just release and let the breath float out. Draw it down and float out. And as you're drawing that diaphragm down, you're naturally just bringing the breath deeper and up further into the chest by the clavicle. And you'll just keep practicing. Draw the diaphragm down, release it, surrender the breath out. And it's really a great practice to surrender that out breath, to just let it go and let it be natural. Because let's face it, in our day-to-day life, there's enough things that we're trying to control. But if we can just practice this diaphragmatic breath, are you still doing it or have you forgotten? So keep drawing that diaphragm down. See if you can do it. Keep practicing doing that while I'm talking, because you can do this even when you're talking to other people. You can do this when you're at your computer typing. And what it's doing is it's oxygenating you on a physical level, creating more clarity and focus because you have more oxygen in the system, but it's also that intake of prana or life force energy. So you just think, the more I can breathe like this in my day-to-day life, that natural deep in-breath, right down into the diaphragm, that releasing, surrendering, letting go out breath, the more I'm going to feel that life force energy, and then the relaxation, the calm that comes with the surrender of letting go of the out breath, the letting go of control, and letting the body work its wisdom. So it's kind of a working with the body so that you are consciously training the body to breathe in this way so that that becomes your unconscious way of breathing. And the more you can do this, the more you're going to stay in that calm state of being. And the more you'll notice when you get out of that style of breathing, when you're tense, stressed, angry, frustrated, running late, and you can actually then consciously catch yourself and breathe deep into that diaphragm again. So I hope that helps you. And the breath is such an important tool. If you would like to learn more on how to breathe with me, I've got my breathing space workshop, and I work with people one-on-one doing breath work as a healing modality. So DM me or pop me a comment and we'll be in touch. Sending you lots of love. Bye.